mostly online since we're now in lockdown. It's pretty tough for clients to come here. But online work seems to be just as good because it's all energetic stuff anyway. And my website is nigelbpatterson.com. So nigelbpatterson.com, find out what I do there. So I've got about 30 years background in this area of shamanism, mysticism, meditation, transpersonal work. I've got a transpersonal psychology background as well, and a business background from a previous incarnation.
Yeah, I love saying that too. I was a math teacher in a previous lifetime. Isn't that crazy? All right, so yeah, I wanted to share some of the comments that came up, and then we could address these directly. So one person was saying that they felt weighted down, like they're literally walking through mud, and they're just like this density energy, and just like, I'm sure we could all relate to that at some point or another. Anything you want to say?
I might do a sort of anecdotal description around that. When I was living in Sydney many years ago, we sit development circle, and our teacher there, this delightful French lady, she could see spirit as clearly as you and I can see each other. And it would be Wednesday nights. For some reason, our development circle, each one seems to take on different personas, but ours was a lot around rescue work, where rescue work means disembodied souls who haven't quite passed over. Well, they've passed over, they haven't passed on into the world of spirit fully. They're sort of hanging around still. It often happens through a sudden death, a tragic experience, but they haven't been prepared for the transition into the next world. So they're still hanging around, and they try and come through with us. So we'd drag ourselves in on a Wednesday night to our development circle, and she'd look at us and say, oh, for heaven's sakes, how many times must I tell you to clear these entities from you before you come in and do your development circle work? And so we'd have to go through that. And it's quite an extraordinary experience going through that, because we'd all come from the office, different directions, and congregate around about 6 p.m. or whatever it was. And so we were very much in what I call the first attention awareness, focusing on our everyday work, our business work, not even thinking about spiritual stuff. But somehow these entities know that we were going to go into this high vibrational spiritual environment.
Right, I have experienced that before. Yeah,
and they attach themselves to
like
us.
Amp it up. They know that you're going to raise your vibration, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, no, let's pull him back down. Let's keep him down."
Well, it wasn't. In this case, it was more a case of we want to be part of the process, because we know they do rescue work. Then we know that they help spirit pass over fully into the light, and they wanted to be helped. So they weren't trying to hinder us. They weren't bad spirits at all. They were actually very benevolent but very lost souls.
So do you think they were just attracted to the light, and they were like,
yeah,
"Oh, there's some light over there. Let's go that way"?
Yeah, I think they knew that we were all going to meet and have these sessions again, and so we'd go in there, and whoever has the rescues with them would actually be worked on. And when one passes through on the light, a portal's opened and many pass through. And I remember the number of times where, my background's engineering and business. Here I am sitting in these development spiritual circles. It was a little bit sort of freaky for me at the time, but no, it's all quite normal.
You didn't tell your friends.
Exactly, yeah. And I would be put right into like a trance place, have to go into a trance mode, and I would actually start channeling whoever it was that was stuck, and they would actually just explain what's happened to them and why they're so afraid to pass into the light. And then with the help of the group, the energy of the group, they would then be encouraged to pass through, and they'd go through, and others would follow through with them. It was incredibly beautiful work, incredibly gratifying work, but quite tough as well. And what toughest for us was there's one young lady in the group, the teacher herself, and she always attracted very young kids, like 4 or 5 year olds, up to 4 or 5. And it was so tragic seeing these little kids come through and have to be passed through to the light. I was so sad that little ones like that pass over suddenly.
Mm.
So I think,
Yeah.
so I think with some of the tiredness people may be feeling, it's going to be because they have these spirit entities with them. As we, in the group, which you would attract, I would attract, we're doing our own inner work, our inner light, and we're going to be attracting some of these souls with us. You know, we're hearing at the moment, we're moving into 5D ascension, 5D reality, what do you want to call it? And that's quite high vibrational frequency. They're going to be, those disembodied souls will be drawn to it, and they would want to come, well, for the ride, you can call it that, but it's more for healing as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to take a lot of awareness around this and really ask ourselves who or what is with me. And we can go into that more as well, because there's also the other side. There is a dark element, which we'll talk about as well, which comes into the dream state often.
Well, I'm curious, this woman that you were with, what was her name again? Did she?
Michelle.
Michelle. So she told you to clear your energy before you come here. So how did she recommend that you do that?
It was around be aware of how you feel. If you suddenly feel sluggish, you feel tired, you kind of feel foggy, you don't have clarity, more often than not, you've got some other energy hanging on to you and clouding you. And instead of just thinking, oh, I'm really tired, I need to sleep, go in and say, okay, who is there? What is there? Who are you? What are you? What help do you need? And invariably, if you do that with loving intention, they will reveal who they are. It could just be a feeling. It could be a sense. Those who are attuned to it may pick up a name, maybe actually see the person, see their history. And those who are very developed in this work would even start channeling that person if there's a safe environment to do that. But it's really owning one's tiredness.
They kind of have to share. I mean, the work that my teachers that have worked with me would say that, you know, if you ask them directly, they kind of have to tell you who they are. You know, if you're open and clear and you can hear that it's something that they kind of have to reveal to you.
Yeah, sometimes there's been so much trauma in these, the ones that suddenly passed over, they're not able to really, I want to use the word cooperate, but I'm not meaning it in an uncooperative way. They just don't know how to, they're surprised by this whole thing. So they're equally confused by what's happening to what, as what we are. So, but it's more, what we learned is not actually important to know who they are or what they are. What's more important is to get a sense that there's something or someone with me, and I have the ability, and I'm talking I as the, not the personal I, but the rhetoric I, has the ability to hold space, to bring in the light, and to ask these to go back to the light, give them permission to go through. And just hold, almost visualize a portal of light opening up, and then ask them to go through towards the light.
Can we do that for the group? Can we do a group thing?
We can do that, but I want to also discuss the ones which I think some of the group have also been struggling with, some of the darker elements as well.
Yeah, I have some other things I wanted to discuss.
Yeah, because we'll do both at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So the technique's the same for both.
Yeah. So yeah, they're feeling weighing down. And what you mentioned, you know, just real fatigue, just super tired, just like wiped out. A lot of that going on right now, like drained energy and like life force kind of sucked out.
Yeah, again, we got to ask, you know, why are we feeling drained? And how, and we got to take responsibility for keeping our energy body up. It's only because we're drained that we can attract these other beings come into our space. Otherwise, normally we're strong, we can keep the strong boundaries. So I think a lot of that draining is just pure exhaustion we're all going through at the moment. There's such an information and projected fear and anger through the media, and we're actually becoming quite exhausted by it all.
That's true.
Yeah, and we actually don't, you know, we're used to, as humans, being in control. Also, we believe we're in control. And we're now feeling quite out of control, most people. Instead of A lot of people, instead of just surrendering to the unknown, they're trying to maintain some form of control. And it's just totally exhausting them.
Yeah.
Instead of knowing that as we, especially those who, we'll be talking to here, are working in the light, we will be taken care of. We just have to trust that. We can't control the process, because control can only happen in an old paradigm. It cannot happen in a new paradigm.
It's a good point. It's a good point.
Yeah.
The other thing that people have been mentioning is the fatigue. It's funny that they go to sleep fine, but when they wake up, they're super fatigued.
So that's the second class I want to talk about. And I've had this experience personally. Another teacher, a shamanic mystic teacher years ago. And so he was helpful, but he would be able to do astral travel, astral dreaming. He'd come and visit us in our dreams, things like that, and was quite bizarre. This was in South Africa before I moved to Australia. And the one time in a dream, I saw him, I was the witness to him, and I saw him beating up his wife. And it freaked me out. And I wanted to stop it, but I couldn't. Dreams, rules are different. I couldn't get there to stop this. And I became very upset and very totally disoriented and scared. And so the next morning, I phoned him and said, "Why were you doing that?" He just laughed at me. He says, "Oh, that's interesting. What did you see?" And I told him. And he said to me, he asked me, "Could you see my face?" I said, no, you had your back to me. You were beating up on your wife there. He says, okay. He says, well, first of all, I certainly was not beating up on my wife. I can tell you right now. He says, but however, they're the certain entities or sometimes allied beings, which are negative energies, which will attack us in our sleep, especially those, again, with high vibrational frequency. We don't prepare ourselves before we go to bed. They'll come in, and they're shapeshifters, and they feed on fear. So I said, what I encountered there was a shapeshifter which took on the form of this teacher of mine and then beat up on his wife to cause me panic and distress. And with that, my energy body collapsed and they fed off me.
Wow.
So he says there again, if that happens, you command them to show you their eyes. They don't do that. This is a comment I passed on Facebook to your post. If they don't do that, and I comment I passed, you beat the crap out of them. Literally, you're not nice to them, you're not sweet to them, you don't reason with them, you don't argue with them. These are negative, nasty beings. You beat the crap out of them. You really do. And after 2 or 3 times, they will learn and leave you alone. Because they do not reason. They're just there to feed off you and to be negative. The other example where I became even more terrified, I woke up screaming in a nightmare as I was in a dark car park one night in this dream. And I was trying to find my car. And then these 3 youths came out and they grabbed me and they held me down and they pulled my fingernails out one at a time. And I was like really screaming in this. And I woke up screaming. And again, he said, they will keep attacking you until such time you learn to take control. And that was a very powerful lesson. I haven't had that since then, but I had to really take control because I'm not used to beating up people. So he says, you have to deal with them very strongly. So that's that one element where we wake up very tired. It can be that. The other side of that is when we wake up tired, we could be doing rescue work in the sleep state.
Yeah, that's what I kind of feel like, rescue or other types of healing work or doing things on other dimensions, and you wake up and you're exhausted because you've been working all night.
Yeah, so that's the other one as well. So it's knowing what you're waking up with, how you feel when you wake up. So a lot of the work I do on this awareness. Be absolutely aware of how you're feeling, what you're waking up with. And if you're waking up suddenly because of like a nightmare, deal with that one I've just gone through. But if you're waking up feeling just drained and exhausted, then more often than not, it is rescue work taking place. where you're being called. And that often happens if there's major calamities, tsunamis, earthquakes, mudslides, floods, where group rescue work is required.
Well,
Whereas a
is
group,
there a way that you can serve and not be exhausted when you wake up? I mean, is there a way of, you know, serving the light, but not like at your expense?
again, what I've been taught or told around this is that will only be used within our capabilities, not beyond them.
Mm.
And that if we wake up exhausted, just to take it easy, be gentle on ourselves, meditate, bring the light back in and rebuild ourselves.
Yeah.
Because if we are being used for service, we'll be used to the fullest of our capabilities, but also not beyond that.
Yeah, and I would say that for the work I've been exposed to, everything is about intentions. So if we do on a regular basis wake up exhausted, maybe we could have the intention that if we are of service in our sleep state, that it be done with ease and grace and not at our expense, you know, service without sacrifice.
And absolutely. So it goes back into any of the work we do is we take responsibility for entering into this work, personal responsibility, and we ask our guides to be there for us, to support us, to guide us, to hold us in the light, and to protect us.
Yeah.
And we would do in any meditation we go into, we open with a protection prayer, a light prayer, and hold that. So again, with our rescue work, if we can remember to do before we go to bed, is ask that we are fully supported through that work.
Yeah, I love that. Okay. Yeah, I think we covered, I mean, some people talk about nausea, dark forces. And
I think on that nausea as well, Jeannie, I think a lot of people are really, I think, feeling this transition into 5D, we call it.
mm-hmm.
And I think it's the old 3D, our dense bodies, which we're having to deal with. And as we shake that off, or not shake it off, but as we transmute the heavier, dense energies into higher vibrational frequencies, we're going to go through these different physical reactions. Some might be nausea, others might be headaches, migraines, eyesight suddenly going fuzzy, hearing noises or ringing in the ears. We can look at if there's suddenly a pressure in or a tension in the gut. We'll look at that as part of this rescue stuff or healing stuff as well through meditation. Again, it's a different kind of nausea, so it depends what we're feeling.
Yeah, nice. So would you we have Tiffany on the line. Do you want to bring her in and ask her a question? Or
Absolutely. If Tiffany would like to join in, sure.
All right, Tiffany. There you are. Hi. Are you still muted? Yes, you are still muted. So I'm going to ask you to unmute. There should be a button there for you to unmute yourself.
There we go.
Did
it work? Hello.
Hi.
Aloha.
Good to see you both.
Good to see you too.
This is my first live video.
Oh my goodness! Yay! We're making a first here.
And you have a live cat with you.
I have 2 little baby kittens.
Oh, so cute. So where are you?
I am on Camano Island, Washington.
How lovely.
Yes, where Dina and Marie used to live.
Yeah. That's a beautiful spot.
It is beautiful. So
Yeah.
with the thing about the entity, entering you in the evening and when you're sleeping. And that I was going to ask, like, how do you know if they're shapeshifters, or how do you know if it's like a intuition or something coming up? But you said to ask to see their eyes.
Really important. And
Important.
if they do not show their eyes, or they avoid you, or they just won't do that,
Okay.
then you can ask, who are you? The chance of them answering that's pretty slim if they won't show their eyes.
Exactly.
And then I've been taught you really do deal with them very, very sternly, because these are not nice energies.
Okay.
And they've got to learn that to keep well away from you.
Yeah. And I've had some horrible things happen, and not sleeping, and the whole situation these past few weeks. So
Yeah, so look at that. So often, through lucid dreaming, we can find this quite a bit, where we know we're in the dream, but we can't seem to wake up from the dream, and we're having this terrible experience in the dream. We just can't wake up. And it's in that space there, all likeliness, we're being manipulated.
okay.
And really take charge. I think in that lucid dreaming state, muster all your will to take charge.
Okay.
And you will be able to do it. But it's almost like it literally is a battle for your life, because there's life force being drained out of you.
Yeah. And it could happen in the daytime. It can happen anytime. And it's just I've been wondering, why am I bringing this to myself? Am I, so I guess I'm just more allowing.
In the daytime, what's really useful if and through meditation as well, we do a morning or our meditation ritual, whatever it is. When you go into meditation, you go quietly. If you start feeling a tension, especially around the solar plexus, heart center, solar plexus, that area, if that starts feeling like it, ask yourself or ask your spirit guides, who or what is with me?
Okay.
Who or what is with me? And just trust your intuition. If you suddenly get a cramping or a shifting in sensation, then know you've caught them out. Something's with you which doesn't belong there.
Okay.
And in that one there, depending on the sense you get, you can also be really firm with it and say out. Or if you get a sense it's like a rescue, which I spoke about before, where they are looking to be guided back to the light, you then again take charge, but you do it with very loving kindness and very gentle, and you almost speak the entity out of your body and towards the light.
Okay.
But you'll get a sense of what it is, whether it's someone needing a rescue work, or it's an entity or some energy feeding off you. There are different feelings.
I find there's some power with the number 3. And so I like to repeat things 3 times.
3 times.
Like, be gone, be gone, be gone. Release, release, release. And I really feel like we're all taking charge, taking back our power and taking back our energy. And we're doing this in many ways, but we're also doing this on the astral plane and multidimensional planes. So these energies might have been with us for a long time, and we just kind of allowed it, or we just figured it was us and not them. And and now we're just, once you realize that this isn't you, this energy is not you, this negative energy or these negative feelings or these negative thoughts, like Nigel's visions, is not you, then it's almost like when you shine a light on something, it dissipates. Like when you realize, this is not me, this is not who I am, this is, this energy, and then you just kick it out, and with like saying something 3 times, like be gone, be gone, be gone, or release, 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 or and letting it move away. And like Nigel said, they're not, once they're found out or caught, they're not like, they're kind of like, oops, I'm out of here,
Yeah.
So other work I've done as well is with the increased vibrational frequency, increased frequency of light, we are attracting more to us to start with, but it's also easier to see them because there's more light, to sense them. And there's a lot of, to go back into some of the old stuff, quite a lot of that reptilian energy is feeding off us. So one thing about reptilian energy is they're pretty stupid. They're not smart at all.
Right.
Which is why you don't try and reason with them. You kind of, so it's typically it's easier if you've got a practitioner working with you, or a friend or someone who knows how to do this working with you. You work with two people. So as the person who's being cleared just kind of lies there and tries to stay still, and the person who's working on them will get a sense, and the person being cleared will also tell them what's happening. They get a sense. And then what I've found, the reptilian energies become very curious, because suddenly they say, what's happening here? There's all this energy going around. What's going on? And they will reveal themselves. But when they do, what I have found, because I enjoy embodying the energy of the trickster, the archetype of the trickster. And with that trickster energy, these reptilian energies cannot compute that fast.
Okay.
They just keep on going in one path. And it's a consumptive, ugly, dark path. Just bring a light in, then just move backwards and forwards in different energies, and just laugh out loud, and then suddenly become serious. And it just really throws the heck out of them. And when you can do that, you can literally, if you're sensitive to it, you can literally grab them and you can pull them out. And then you send them off. But those are more that reptilian energy. So there's all different types of, we as light beings, we attract all different kinds of entities. It's just knowing which one we're dealing with, and not beating up on the ones who genuinely do need our help.
Yeah.
But the ones who who have no right being with us, we need to get them out as fast as possible and send them off to the light.
Okay. Yeah, because recently that's what happened to me. I went into the hospital. I thought I was having a heart attack. And it was that bad in my diaphragm and my lungs, everything. I thought, oh my gosh, am I having an embolism? Am I, a blood clot? What's going on with me? And I couldn't sleep. I couldn't breathe. It was like taking my breath away.
Yeah.
And then when you get to the hospital, they're like, wow, you check out fine, right?
Everything was fine, but yeah, they did all the tests, came back okay. And I mean, literally, like I had all this heart test done because my father had heart disease at 42 and did have a heart attack, but I've been very healthy. I'm trying to get even healthier and get back on track. And so that's what I was wondering. So
Tiffany, from what I can see here, when I look into your space, is that
Tiffany.
Yeah,
Tiffany, thank you.
It's okay. I just,
Tiffany.
I want to make sure to address it properly.
Is build your mental body.
Okay.
Your physical body, you've obviously done some good work there. Build that mental body, become strong of mind. And in that mental body and getting very strong, center, get clear boundaries, strong mental boundaries. And again, what we were taught is a mantra on this one is only that which I deem may pass through.
Okay.
So we've kind of visualized the aura cocoon around us, like this golden white shield of light, and only that which I deem may pass through. In other words, nothing except what I give permission to may enter me.
May enter. Okay.
And you have that very strongly. And if you, in any situation, you go into a new situation or you meet new people, just repeat that to yourself. Or if you watch even a movie, so you don't become suddenly collapsed in the energy of the movie. And I think, a lot of us as we're going through these transitions are having to take some self-care around this. And it's like getting out of our addiction to movies, to mainstream media, to watching TV, news, surfing stuff on the internet, getting enough sleep, I've got a couple of points here. Avoid arguments with people. You know, that's the wonderful thing, and I think it's the Course of Miracles. Would you rather be right, or would you rather be happy?
Yeah, exactly. All of this, I was just speaking with my cousin. She's coming to stay with me before she goes to Egypt. And she's going to stay with me a couple months. And I was just speaking to her about all this stuff right now. And we were just talking about that. Get the negative out of our space and only allowing positive and good and happy.
Yeah.
And just because somebody doesn't agree with you doesn't make them right or wrong. It just, you know, as long as they're not hurting you.
Right.
Well, as we know, the only person we can change is ourselves.
Yeah.
So why bother arguing with someone else?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, is it worth it? You know, is this right?
So it keeps on coming up: self-care, self-care, self-care. In your case, I'm getting strong mental boundaries.
Yeah. So those mental boundaries, you know, that might be a course or, you know, learning or expanding your ability, because it takes practice, and it's a process to feel into what is my energy and what's someone else's energy. And especially when we're used to being so open and so inviting, and, you know, which is nice, and maybe you're raised that way, you know, oh, you should be so open and nice. And then, you know, it's so funny with the COVID, I was just thinking of all these kids that are growing up with masks on, because you're seeing all these little kids with masks. I mean, what are they going to think?
I know.
You know, I mean, I mean, they're growing up with that. That's like normal for them, you know. So it's like we're so, you know, we're raised, oh yeah, let's, you know, be open and connect. And now we're like personal space bubble, you know, which is kind of a good thing, that we're kind of being aware of our own space bubble and how we intersect, and, you know, how your bubble is kind of crushing on mine. And so, yeah, I kind of enjoying this new space energy consciousness that we're getting to. But to me, that, again, that's all part of the ascension process.
Yeah. So it's funny, be aware that as you're, you know, chatting with the three of us, chatting away here, the Trinity is happening, you know, three people, it's a powerful energy. Also be aware that your own light body is growing. As you're doing, so you're looking a lot lighter, and you're actually expanding out. You can see it. Are you aware of that? Getting lighter.
Yeah.
Okay, but you can do this on your own as well, by calling in the white light through your crown chakra, and just calling it in and filling your whole aura cocoon. You do this through meditation. And it's like just pouring it in, because there's an abundance of light from source. It's infinite. We just got to ask for it.
Okay.
And it's perfectly normal and natural and okay to ask for it.
And that's what I have a trouble with asking for myself. I'll ask always for others. And, you know, it's been very difficult. This has been something new for me. I'm more of this COVID, all this thing has been crazy. I'm a hugger, toucher, filler. I feel everything. I have to. And it was just horrible. And then that's when everything just kind of started, a month to month.
So allow your spirit guides to come in, touch you, hug you, and nurture you.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I've been asking my angels for that.
It's time for you to be hugged.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And to honor your space. And probably when you are hugging people or you're connecting with other people, you're used to maybe giving your energy to others, you know? I mean, it's just your natural makeup to do that. And now here it is like, oh yeah, I have to hold back. But, you know, it's also about you honoring yourself. And to me, that's what this whole reboot has been, is to us getting back to ourselves, getting back to who we are, getting back to our true authentic self, and then coming into that place where, if I'm going to let you into my space, you know, I'm going to be conscious, aware of it, and then it's my choice to let you in. rather than just people coming in and invading your space. So
Yeah.
actually a good
But
thing.
And taking my
nice,
energy.
yeah,
Right.
another nice exercise. Oopsie, my glass of water disappeared in this funny background.
That was interesting.
That was
Like
weird.
magic.
That was creepy.
It's
Like, what?
isn't it amazing? Is see yourself like a vessel, a glass vessel of water or so.
I'm getting my water.
That if you are giving your energy to people, you are draining yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, you get nothing left. So I think it's absolutely critical, important that we center on self first. It is not the same as being self-centered.
No.
Very different. Center on self first, fill your glass right up, and as it keeps on filling, you have an abundance to give, and your glass also stays full. Again, open that crown chakra, bring the light in, ask your guides to be with you, ask your healers to be with you, your angels to be with you. They will give you more than what you possibly need for yourself and anyone else you come in touch with.
Wonderful.
Just keep that glass filled the whole time.
Yes.
Because
Thank you.
there's no reason you should be emptying your glass for others.
No, that is something I have been learning.
Yeah.
So, and meditating on and trying to get that full again.
Yeah, because
So,
we seem to confuse being self-centered with centering on self.
yeah.
Very different.
Yeah. And that's what I used to think I was doing by filling myself full of happiness and love and, so
Yep.
yes, I'm very well aware of that now.
Yeah,
That's what I was doing all these years.
I would say it's the same as when you get on an airplane and they say, put your mask on yourself first and then your children second. And the whole point of that is that you need to take care of you first before you can take care of anybody else.
Yes.
And it's not about being selfish, like Nigel said. It's just about us honoring ourselves, coming to that place. And that's what, yeah, in the morning, having a morning practice, meditation, like Nigel said, calling in that white light into your crown chakra. And
Yeah. And using the white light to scan your body.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
From toe to top, and say, where am I feeling any tension? Where am I feeling any stress? Where I'm feeling any pressure? If it's just muscular tension, get comfortable.
Okay.
But if there's something, especially if there's this tension or tenseness in the gut or other areas, okay, what is this? If this builds or moves around or it seems to be not stabilized, that's not muscular. That's something else going on.
Okay.
Focus in there and bring that white light is so important. Bring it in because your crown chakra is open at the moment. I can see these things. Just keep on bringing it in, know how it feels right now and use it. And bring it in and bring that white light into those places which there is dis-ease in the body.
Mm-hmm.
And command that dis-ease to either show itself, in which case you help it. If it won't show itself, you just blast it out with the white light and say, ta-ta,
Okay.
off you go. Send you the white light. The best gift I can possibly give you is the white light. I'm giving you that gift. Bye. On your way.
That is wonderful. Yes. I am going to be using this.
Yeah. Okay.
awesome.
And it's simple, it's powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Spiritual warrior work isn't nice work. It's not sweet work. We have to take charge. It's like, that sort of, you take that sword and you cut through the muck and you take charge and you use the light for that. That light is very powerful.
Okay. Love that.
Okay.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Love, love, love.
Yeah.
Good luck. It's all looking good around you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I
Ready?
have been working very hard on this. And I thought too that that's also why I was getting all these signs to, I normally, to even see Jeanne on here is like, oh, okay, I'm supposed to click on this today at that moment. Because I did need that to hear that, because I've been just trying to work on my own energy work and my own self for, some time now. and I'm getting there, but I just feel like I'm still not strong enough right now, but this helps to understand that
Yeah.
Awesome.
the dreams and
Yes.
Yeah,
It's tough.
shifters.
there is no coincidence.
Exactly. It isn't coincidence.
And it's quite okay to ask for help in this kind of work.
Thank you
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
It's really all of us have been through the dark night of the soul, through challenges. We've all asked for help.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And we continue to do so.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you
Yeah.
for having me realize that again. So
Okay.
My pleasure.
sometimes we forget those things. We forget
Yeah,
that.
that's all right.
So
So remember yourself.
remember. Yep.
Very
So
good.
actually, Nigel and I are going to do a
Nigel.
little class together August 24th at 2 o'clock Hawaiian time. And
Okay.
2 to 4:30. And we're going to share some techniques. I want to do a little meditation in there. Just have everyone clearing their energy, and we'll give some tips and guidance along that way. I can send you the link, Tiffany. And
That would be wonderful.
yeah, and it's super affordable. Just make it $49, and it's something that will just we feel is needed right now, and we're just trying to serve in this way. And I don't know, Nigel, if you want to add something of what you want to share.
Well, I think a couple of things here. The one is that because we're dealing with energy, we're not time and space bound.
Okay.
So therefore, doing it through this medium is just as effective. Okay, so you don't need to be sitting in Jeannie's beautiful little palace there, cross-legged. You can be comfortable with your two little kitties there, and it's just as effective. So that's the one. The second one is this. I believe the group energies are required at the moment. We're having such, I would say not challenges, but such opportunities, but we're needing to really build fast.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not convinced we're going to build it fast enough as individuals. Okay? Because just the three of us here looking at each other, you've transformed amazingly already in just a short time. Okay? And that's just how energy works.
Yeah.
There's nothing magical about Jeannie or me. It's just the way energy works.
Mm-hmm.
And I call those things appointments and power. And in a book I've written around that, we define it when two or more people come together in an environment free of judgment, something extraordinary happens. Okay, with nothing to defend, answers to questions sometimes not even asked or even known manifest, and we can move forward. So I call those appointments and power. So my book, by the way, I just put up there.
I was just going to
Yeah.
say,
It's disappearing.
it's disappearing in the back.
Disappearing book, yeah, it's this funny background.
Okay,
Return to Freedom by Nigel B. Patterson.
Return to Freedom. Okay.
Yeah, it's on Amazon.
That's on it. Yeah.
But it's around that. So I think, and there's also religious context behind this. And the Bible talks about when two or more come together in my name, there I am with you. And so this is more the sort of taken a more modern spiritual element to that.
Mm-hmm.
So because we have this incredible medium now, Zoom or Facebook, what are we using? We can come together in very distant places, but be in the same place at the same time. Because it's energetic, we don't need to be physically in the same place.
Okay.
And I'm finding it very powerful. The main thing is what we call intention. The intention is there to be part of that healing. You will heal. It's unavoidable.
Yeah.
Yeah. The intention. Yeah.
I believe we have more power than we realize. And
I truly believe that.
totally
Yes.
into that.
Well, I've seen some amazing healing and amazing things happen as well. So even just being, like you said, just being in a room with someone and just a smile. How amazing that just that one little bit of being there or seeing someone's face and that smile like will just heal someone.
Absolutely.
And isn't it crazy? We all mask ourselves.
I know, it's horrible. I'm like, oh.
But we don't want to go into. We won't go into that. No, we won't give that energy.
No, exactly. Don't get my anxiety up. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
But I live in a beautiful, beautiful place, and I'm very grateful for where I live. And I was just speaking to my friends about that we need another little retreat to bring just a few of us back, together, but still be apart, but together. And maybe this is what, and we were talking about this, what could we do as like a class or together, do vision boards, something to just bring us back where we can at least see each other and be in the same space.
But in that separation, we lose sense of meaning and purpose.
Yeah.
How do we overcome that separation using our modern technology so we get that sense of purpose and meaning back?
Yeah. So maybe this class, I'll show them this class, and maybe we can do that.
Nice.
Together.
And Jeanne, as we think about it, will actually be great on this class if the participants who sign up, they actually form part of the agenda. In other words, they come through with what they would like to be working on as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we're dealing with that collective energy once again.
Right. And we can gear our message to their particular needs or their particular questions or what's going on. Yeah, and I mean, that's how it always is anyway. Everyone's gonna bring their own thing, because we're kind of like the Knights of the Round Table. It's not like we're at the head of the table and everybody else is at the other end. We're all in a circle here. And we all have something to share, something to add, something to contribute. And,
I just do it because I'm inherently lazy and let other people come up with the agenda.
You're just a moment.
And I'll round the people. I'm like the Australian shepherd that herds them all.
There you go. I love it. All right.
I think we're complete. Thank you so much for calling in today, Tiffany and Nigel.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for showing up. Do you want to add? We have someone else. Do you want to add for a few moments? Why not? We have Jay. I don't know who Jay is. But.
Aloha, Jay.
Aloha, Jay. And if you would like to come on board and ask a question or like us to Jay's being a little silent right now.
There we go.
There's Jay.
Jay's being unmasked.
Oh, hi, Jay. Yeah. It's my friend Jay. Hi.
Hello. I'm a little late.
That's okay. That's okay. We were just clearing energy. Is there something you wanted to request or anything you wanted us to work on?
Well, yeah, I mean, just like if you're in anxiety,
Jay, you're actually in a very windy environment. The wind's blowing your microphone.
Let me see if I can. I'll probably see if I can get into my car. That would be better.
Yeah. A few minutes.
I'm sorry about that.
How's the Big Island, Nigel?
I'm in Oahu.
You're on Oahu, Jay. I'm talking about Nigel. How's the Big Island, Nigel?
Beautiful. So for those who are watching this, the view behind me is actually my view that I'm looking at the moment.
Wow.
Obviously, I can't have the camera in front of me and behind me at the same time.
It's amazing.
I
And the
know,
rainbow
you live
doesn't
in a
stay all the
beautiful
time.
place. You definitely.
I will show you my view. I'm walking outside my front
Okay.
porch.
Oh,
Oh,
beautiful.
lovely.
Wow.
Not pretty.
Is that the
And
Mm.
normally you can see the Mount Baker in the background.
Wow.
It's just a little cloudy today.
So nice to see
And
water.
check out the butterflies on your wall behind you.
Oh, I know my grandmother's butterflies that she
Oh,
made.
how cute. I love
They're
it.
very
Yeah.
old. It was from my great granny.
Oh,
So
wow.
become like the butterfly. Become free.
That's what they call me, a butterfly.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice.
And so, Jay, you're on Oahu?
That's right. I'm on the North Shore. I've been doing a bit of island hopping. Came by way of Maui, and hoping to go back to my beloved Kauai.
Nice.
Yeah. Nice.
So
Can you
we got
put your volume up a little louder? I don't know if that's possible.
So we got most of Hawaii here. We just don't have Maui represented.
I've been to Maui one time
There you
and
go.
I absolutely loved it.
That
Yeah.
That's my only place I've been in Hawaii.
Mm,
Oh, all right.
in the
Okay.
Kauai. Yeah. Okay, Jay, you have the floor.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi.
You know, as many of us are, you know, empaths, sometimes it's difficult to feel the difference between the fear that you might be generating within yourself or the fear that you're actually picking up from the collective. And I think all of us are being called to respond. So being able to kind of, you know, navigate through this is very important to continue our ability to do our work and to continue ascending. So for me, I haven't felt so clear as to understand how much of it is something that I'm picking up from the collective or it's something that I'm generating. Obviously,
Yeah, you feel so, but that's
so
a good
within, so without,
question.
but the intellectual mind, like, yeah.
Yeah, your video stopped, but we got the message.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Nigel, you want to go for that?
Yeah. We've covered a bit of that today. So let's go try and recap some of that. What I'm getting here, Jay, is when one goes into the stillness, that place of stillness, quiet in the mind, meditative place, and then if that agitation is still there, take a deeper look at that agitation. And where's that coming from? Is that something from deep within your own mental construct, which you just cannot still? Or is that something which is an external agitation coming onto you, towards you, imposing itself onto you? And as an empath, I think you will know what I mean and what you will know the difference. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I think if it's the busy mind, you can't still, well, you know what you have to do about that. That means more homework.
Mm-hmm.
And it's called personal responsibility as far as that one goes. That's right. But if it's...
Monkey mind.
yeah, exactly. But if it's that sense that there's external influence, that there's other entities or other beings or rescue work or something like that. Again, as we said earlier on, and you can probably pick up, this is being recorded, is it,
Mm-hmm.
Jeanne?
Yes.
So you pick up the recording of this because we've been through quite a bit of that. Is trying to get clarity on what is that? Is that an entity with you, which is benevolent, who's asking for your help in helping it move through back to the light? In which case you give it support and guide it back to the light in the best you can. Or is it a negative entity which is trying to feed off you and your high vibrational frequency and just, it's a parasite, an energetic parasite? If it's the latter, the parasite, use, when we're talking to Tiffany, use the white light, bring it through crown chakra in, and just use it. I use it almost like a blowtorch and really focus it and really burn that parasite. And once it becomes loosened, because it will start loosening, I get a sense it starts moving around my body because it gets really uncomfortable in that intense focus, is when I then command it back out. And the only gift I can give it is the light. I said, here's the gift. That's all I've got to give you. Get out. Go. And then feel it leaving, and then make sure the aura cocoon is clear afterwards. You know, bring light into the surface of the aura cocoon and just heal that off. Seal that off. So that's probably just those. Does that make any sense?
It does, and it resonates a lot. Yeah, I haven't been so clear, you know, I haven't been so clear as to be able to recognize the entities, but when I work with those who are able to, I realize the difference from those being pulled out. So maybe to like a supplementary question to that is, of course, there's probably a big answer to this, but how does one practice to get into the place to be able to differentiate between whether it's an entity or it's just a collective, you know, energy?
Yeah, and that's going to come with practice. As you say, it's going to come with as you are an empath. Trust your intuition.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting here that you actually do know the difference. You're just not trusting yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, Jay. I would totally agree with that.
Okay. So you know Jay, I don't know Jay, so that's good. It's good that I don't know him, so I can just bring in without any background noise.
Yeah.
That you know this stuff. The guy's saying, why aren't you doing it? Yeah, right. Because you can do it, yeah. I'm also getting, do not hesitate when you need to do it. Just get in, find a quiet place, sit in your car and just do it. Because what I'm sensing, if you hesitate, they're going to get into you deeper.
Yeah, this guy likes to come in, so then they come in. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And if you listen to the video, we talked about some techniques to get rid of it. But also, part of it is just in general knowing that we're stronger than we think we are, and we're more capable than we think we are. And we have the power to command these energies to leave us. And we don't have to put up with it. We don't have to allow it. We don't have to accept these energies in our field. And so...
Yeah, Jeannie's very polite the way she says that. Quite as polite.
Yes,
I say... So I will say it again. If there are entities which you feel do not belong there, the words I use is kick the crap out of them. They don't belong there. They are interfering with you. They're sucking your energy. They're draining you. They do not belong there. You don't try and reason with them. You don't try and be nice with them. You just do whatever you need to do. And I use that white light, I bring it in and just use it like an absolute laser beam. And almost see a tiny point just piercing and burning. Eventually they just break loose. It is so uncomfortable for these entities. They just break loose and they just command them out. So they are around, and as empaths and light workers, they will be attracted to us like moths to a light.
Yeah.
But they will get burnt if they come too close to light, and let them know that.
All right, we have one more person that joined.
I will pronounce it. Kike from Oaxaca in Mexico. Aloha, Kike. You can put your camera back on.
There you go.
Yeah, it wasn't me. Yeah, I was I was banned for a while. There. Hi. I just saw this on Facebook. I'm home here. It's 8 o'clock in the evening, and I just thought, wow, it's happening now, and I didn't know about it. So I'm just tuning in. Not sure what I'm tuning into, but I know with Nigel, it's good stuff and probably stuff that I need. So here I am.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Totally.
So anyway, yeah, Kike, we were just talking about the struggles some of us are going through with the transformational transitions happening right now from more 3D dense reality into the more the 5D higher vibrational frequencies, and how that's playing out all around us on the mainstream media, on Facebook and so on, and how do we deal with that from an energetic level, and how do we protect ourselves from that from an energetic level. So we're more around that.
Yeah.
And can I ask how that is different than other times that we as people who aren't necessarily engaged with what a lot of other people are worried about, stressed about, crazy about? How is this time different? I mean, I understand COVID is happening, but for me, it's sort of like it's just more of the same in a way. Even though I feel myself personally changing, and I don't know how much of that has to do with things external to myself or not. I'm changing a lot, and that's why I was laughing earlier, that there are things that I know I would like to be doing that I'm not. I'll leave it there.
I think we're seeing this on a collective level now,
Yeah.
as opposed to an individual or group level. There's a collective happening, and we look at the Schumann frequency and things like that. You're seeing them showing up quite a bit on different sites. The planet itself seems to be going through a transformation, a transition, Mother Earth, and it's been predicted for a long time it's going to happen. It seems to be accelerating now, and we're either with her or we fight her. And we're finding a lot of people, I think, it's unfamiliar territory, and we're seeing, I think, people trying to retain a level of control because their lives unraveling. Where we thought we could hide in the past, we can't hide anymore. We are being seen for who we are. Authenticity is becoming really, really critical.
Mm-hmm.
And I think those who are prepared to go with the flow, find out authenticity, be in the light, literally hang on to the surf of light at the moment, will get through. And that's what the encouragement from the guides is, that we find that place, we find that crest, and we surf it. And it's not necessarily comfortable. Some will find it a lot easier than others, but those who have a lot to defend from either their persona, their belongings, their families, or whatever it is, or breaking up relationships, will find that really challenging, because anything which needs to be dealt with is being called in to be dealt with now. And some have been, I know, Kika, you've been working on this stuff for 4 or 5 years. So you've been surfing this for quite a while. Others are confronting it for the first time now, and for them it's really, really uncomfortable.
And I would say just exactly what you said. And it was so funny that you said that just when you were talking. And it's like, I don't know about everybody else, but we're feeling stuff, or I'm feeling stuff. And that's what it is. It's all about the inner journey right now. And it's all about our personal experience and what's showing up. And the things that are showing up or coming up for us are those things that we need to work on. And some of us are finding financial issues right now. Well, that's an area. Maybe it's relationship. Well, that's area. Maybe it's health. So we all have these, it's showing up in so many different ways. And that's all part of, whatever is the most needed for us to grow and expand in that moment is how it's showing up for us. It's kind of how I see it. And, this energy that we're all feeling, and the whole reason for this Zoom call today is to really get together as a collective and to share what we're feeling, to share and let other people know that, you know, you're not alone, even though you may feel isolated and you may not have had physical contact with other people, but other people are feeling these energies also in different ways. Like we talked about earlier, you know, whether they're showing up in our dream state and in fatigue and aches and pains in our body, different things. And it's all of that to know that, oh, okay, now I understand what's going on. You know, someone even mentioned that they had to go to the hospital for fear of what was going on in their respiratory system. And it turns out it was nothing, according to the doctors, but, you know, it's something more on a spiritual level, on an emotional level, on different things that we're clearing. So it's not like we can just go and give me a pill and fix this thing that I'm feeling. It's like, no, it's not going to work that way now. You know, it's an energetic thing. And so we're addressing that on this level.
Yes,
So interesting. I met the two of you, Kike and Jeanne, at very similar times in San Francisco.
Oh,
Yeah.
And Jeanne lives in Kukui, has a Dolphin Touch Wellness Center, which I visited several times there. We just kept in touch, knowing that we just had the sense way back 7.5 years ago, something like that, or 8 years ago almost, that we'd be doing something together down the track. And we just kept in touch all the way through.
We knew.
oh, how neat.
Yeah.
So we're actually going to be doing together a program on the 24th of August. We're going to do a workshop on clearing energy, and we're going to do meditations, and we're going to give you some tools and some things to help people on, you know, on this process. And we're making it very affordable. It's $49, and you could sign up and connect with us. We'll share the link, or I'll give it to Nigel. You can share it with you too.
Yeah.
And we just when we got together, we just felt like this is something that is needed for the collective, and we're like, okay, let's show up and see how we can help.
So Kike, for the people watching in and listening in, you and I have worked together for a while now. How would you describe the work we do, or I do?
Oh, golly. Don't put me on the spot for anything.
Yeah, I know. I was just going to say that. Yeah, don't
Even though,
not to
even
put you
though
on the spot, Kike. Yeah.
even though I'm thrilled to, report in, so to speak. My goodness, it's been so, I feel really lucky to have met you, and for you to have been so generous. I mean, it's your work is really varied. I know I'm not giving you at all the advertisement.
No, not the advertisement. I think
testimonial. I mean, I'm dithering, and I'm sorry about that.
No, that's good, because, well, I'm going to say the work is not gentle work. It's not sweet work.
Are you saying you're a taskmaster?
I hold people's feet to the fire. I hold them accountable for doing their own work, because that's the only way we'll change, is if we do our own work.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Kike, you didn't answer that.
Yes.
I'll just say it's been great. It's been great.
Okay, that's perfect. I think, yeah, that's good right there.
And it has been a process. And one thing I will say, it's very interesting that over the years, how my perceptions of things and what's easy for me to accept has really, really changed. And I hope that I'm just aware that maybe, I hope that what I'm saying is received in the way that I mean it. And it's just been, because when I think of where I am now compared to where I was, even though I was open, but it's very much a process. And okay, maybe that's very cliche, but it's a process.
The whole of life is a process.
Yeah, it doesn't happen like that.
Yeah, and
For
being
me.
born human's a process, and getting back to spirit's a process.
Yeah.
And so that's perfect. So it's not a quick fix. It's not an overnight fix. It's not pop a pill and you're all well.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. So
I
So
think
anyway.
there's more people now getting away from that also. They're going more to spiritual and not
Yeah.
medical, Western medicine. It feels like.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm
Absolutely.
excited. Thank you, Nigel, for your
Yeah, and I think Kike said it all. I'm gonna let everybody join in before we go. Kike said, you said it all when you joined. You said, I don't know, I saw Nigel doing something and I just had to join. I mean, that's all you needed to say right there. I mean, that says it all right there. I feel like you knew that this was, so Nigel's offered something, I'm in. This is good.
Yeah, always worthwhile and always great. Yeah.
Well, if anybody has some last words or anything we're gonna wrap this up.
Okay. Great.
Well, thank you very much, everyone, for being here. And Kike, I will see you in 3 weeks' time in Mexico, or 4 weeks' time, whenever it is. She's going to come, and I'm going there for
Nice.
4 weeks, and she's going to come and join me for a week there. It's going to be great fun.
nice.
That'd be awesome.
That'll be a
This
lot of
is an
fun. So
open invitation for anybody to join you.
that's right. So take note of Kike now, which looks like now, because when you see her in 5 weeks' time on the workshop, she'll be quite different.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, hopefully.
Wonderful.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's always fun. And
Yay.
Jeanne, thank you very much for putting us together. You're always an absolute delight.
You too, Nigel.
It's wonderful, the place where your heart is so, it just fills the whole space. Beautiful.
Wow, thank you.
Thank you for that.
You too, and your
Thank you, Jeannie.
beautiful service. Thank you, Tafani. Thank you, Jai.
And
Hopefully
Tafani,
we'll see you all on
thank you.
Facebook.
I want to thank you, Tafani, for bringing your authenticity in. That's, I think, was very important for whoever's listening in to hear that authenticity, because it takes courage to do that. And so I thank you for doing that. It's true that witnessing someone else's courage do that is very healing for everyone.
Thank you
Yes,
for
you're
your
very
tools as well.
Yeah.
So help me through that.
And Jay, you're sort of jittering around there a bit on your network connection.
Yeah. I don't think we can hear him, but I'll be in touch with Jay. Jai, I think he'll be here on Kauai, maybe in a couple of days. Yeah, I think he's having trouble with his internet. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Namaste. Have a great evening. If it's evening there, it's afternoon here on Kauai. And we look forward to seeing you on the 24th. I'll be posting the link, and stay in touch and just carry that light and fill yourself with that white light. I love that image that you presented, Nigel.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody. Hui-hou.
Okay, bye now.
Bye.
Aloha.
Bye.
Aloha.
Yeah.